amazing places in South Africa, and today is no different as we find ourselves at Shishangeni by Barn Hotels, which is right on the border of Maputo. Yes, you've guessed it, we're in the Kruger National Park. Now, Shishangeni has 3 different lodges, and today we find ourselves at Shawu, which means elephant in Swahili. Now, while I enjoy this, why don't you take a look at the program? Now, as you know, we at Trendz Travel love bringing you cuisines from around the world, and this week is no different as Nadia Nabuza takes us to home base for some Nigerian cuisine.
African cuisine is as diverse as the many cultures that exist on the continent, and it's not only reflective of the rich diversity but also so full of flavor. I went to Sandton for lunch and was lucky enough to get served some mouth-watering and utterly delicious Nigerian food. But first, I spoke to Leroy, who gave me a bit of background on where we were.
We are a 100% authentic African restaurant. Our core business is selling African food, so we took a bit from all the corners of Africa to bring somewhat of a menu for everybody, because people travel a lot and they come to South Africa. So Mr. Ken's his vision was, when people come here, they have to go to those dodgy places in the background alleys to get food like this. So he wanted to bring it to the upmarket and said, no, even though all the big brands are here, you can still have food from home. Hence the name Home Base. It's a play on the word home and base. It's not specifically for tourists, it's for everyone. So it's like anyone can say, listen, I've never had mopani worms before, or a goosey, and they don't even know where to get it, because some of the people, they know about the food, but they've never had a place where they can experience it. So hence the idea to make a home here in Sandton where people can come and enjoy the food.
Okay, so how did you pick the meals from different countries?
From the different countries, we did the most popular ones. From Nigeria, we brought goat meat and all the local stuff. We sell goat, we sell oxtail. From Kenya, we've got chapati. We've got other jollof rice flavors from Ghana as well. We've got Zim food as well. We've got what are called masonja. I don't know if you eat them here. We've got them there. We've got kapenta, these small fishes. We've got all the stuff. Like we say, we picked a bit from there and there. So we only stuck to what's common. We will be looking to expand our menu in the future depending on the market. We listen to what people are saying, because we're open to people coming and tell us, hey, I'm from this country and we eat this as our staple, and will you have it on our menu? And then we say, we're glad to look into it. So like I said, our menu is just like from the corners, we took the best of the best.
A chef that prides himself in his cooking prepared a whole spread and was happy enough to sit down and eat with me. So it was time to taste.
Alright, so which one do you taste with? Egusi. I've always wanted to taste egusi.
Okay.
An absolute favorite to all Nigerian tribes, egusi is a must at all celebrations.
Nigerians are generous with their portions, aren't they? No.
I want to have some gravy on it.
Oh my god. So is this like pap or something like that?
Yeah, it's like pap.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
All right.
So how would you normally eat it in Nigeria? With your hands, or fork and knife, or a spoon?
Yeah, normally we use hand in Nigeria.
Okay.
So you can mold it nicely and for easy swallow.
Okay.
But if you don't want to use your hand, you can use cutlery.
Okay. Right.
No, this one is melon soup. So it's from the seed, you blend it. After blending, it becomes a powder shape. It's like, most people like the South Africa, they call it egg soup because the nature of it is like egg, but it's not egg.
And here, what is this?
Yeah, this is pepper goat and jollof rice. The jollof rice is a normal rice, but is made up with special recipe from home base, which is very nice. While this is a pepper goat, normally is from the eastern part of Nigeria. They call it ashu.
And there, what do we have there?
Okay, there we have okra soup and amala. That dish is mainly from the Yoruba side of Nigeria, which is the southwest side in Nigeria. So the amala there is made from plantain, which contain iron, the okra, which is the normal okra vegetables, and alongside with the protein oste.
Okay, so what's the difference between this that brown stuff and this one?
Okay, the difference between the two dishes, that one is the amala is made from plantain, the dry powder side of plantain, because like you cut the plant, like the green plantain, you cut it, you have to go through the dry process, then you blend it like a powder shape, which give you that brownish color. Why this is made from yam, the tuber of yam, which contain carbohydrates.
Being the homeland to various ethnic tribes, Nigerian food culture has been shaped by those groups to a great extent.
In my own side, I come from in Nigeria, which is the southern side of Nigeria, Edo State in particular.
Okay.
In our marriages, when you want to marry, birthday, in any celebration, egusi soup must be present. Without egusi soup, that means the traditional rites and for the food is not complete. So the egusi must be there.
Okay. So now tell me, because your menu is from different parts of Africa.
Yeah.
Where did you learn to cook? Because you're from Nigeria.
Yes.
Where did you learn to cook the other dishes?
Okay. Unlike for me, I went to catering school in Nigeria, in the university, and I spent 5 years in reading the course. Even before I went for catering school, my mom at home has been teaching me how to make some traditional food before I went then to combine it with the continentals and all. So when you're as a Nigerian, in every family, it is a priority for your mother to teach you how to cook very well.
Girls and boys?
Boys and girls.
Okay.
Yes, it's a priority.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say out of 100% of the meal, let's say 90% knows how to cook very well in the meal.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay. So everyone in Nigeria cooks?
They know how to cook.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for real. Okay, this is okra soup and amala. The soup is slimy in nature. I understand. It's in Nigeria, when a child is learning how to eat, this is the soup our mom teaches us how to eat, because it's slimy and when you swallow it's easy. So that's why most Nigerians eat okra.
Has a lot of health benefits.
Yes.
That's why you feed it to children.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. It contains a lot for children, like vitamins and all. It makes children grows and all. And it contains, let's say, okra soup in general as a meal. It contains the 6 classes of food. Yeah, it's very, very nice in the body system, and it's medicinal too. Yeah, it cleans up your system.
That's what I heard. So why do you serve it with this?
Yeah, like this amala is nice for diabetes patient too. It does not contain starchy food. It does not contain carbohydrates.
By the time lunch was over, I was completely stuffed. All compliments to the chef.
It is time for a small break, but before we go, here's a quick reminder that we love hearing from you. So why don't you hit us up on Twitter or on Instagram on Trendz and SABC. So send us your pics, send us your likes using the hashtag SABC News.
Buildings, submerged homes and devastated families.
Biggest earthquake in here.
Their homes and buildings moved like boats.
Big shake, and I ran as fast as I can.
These are the satellite images depicting the area before the disaster.
The ground is like a wave.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
It is unbelievable. You can actually smell the stench of dead bodies around.
The National Hurricane Center said earlier on Tuesday that Michael was a Category 1 storm with sustained winds of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Residents were implored to get out of harm's way ahead of life-threatening waves, winds and rains. Flash flooding over the weekend caused 13 deaths in Central America after Michael formed off the coast of northern Honduras.
The story of Guachu is a microcosm of the problems that continue to plague land reform, where the challenges of redistribution, restitution and security of tenure include not only addressing past injustices and making farms productive, but reclaiming identity.
I had, this belief that this is our government. Definitely, they will do whatever they can do for us to change our lives. But unfortunately, I think I was just naive.
It is the government of South Africa that is owning this land, and it is that government that is denying these people.
Staying on point with the latest trends is kind of our thing here at Trendz Travel, so it's no surprise that we attended the AFI, or for those in the know, Joburg Fashion Week. Now, one of the designers caught our eye, and that's Orapoleng Modutle, who's been trailblazing the industry, so let's take a look.
It's that time of the year again when all eyes turn to Joburg's fashion runways. The wonderful spring-summer collection by Mzansi's top designers was showcased at African Fashion International Joburg Fashion Week.
AFI was created to promote local designers as well as African designers. But this year we have gone on to even invite Asian designers. So we have designers from Africa. We've got Tanzania, we've got Rwanda, Cameroon, Botswana, Nigeria, South Africa is represented. And then we've got Cambodia, China and Japan that are going to be showcasing. And then we believe that both Asia and Africa have an interesting take on fashion design, as in the colors that we use, the geometric shapes that we use, and sometimes the prints that we used. So we hope that with this collaboration that we can take African designers and they can be inspired by others from outside, and we can really do what AFI does best, which is taking African fashion to the world.
In 2016, South Africa was introduced to one of the most creative high-end designers. Born and bred in Kimberley, Orapoleng Modutle has always been fascinated with fashion trends.
I love women's clothing. It has always been my obsession growing up. I used to dress up a lot, or dress dolls, or tell my mother what to wear. And I have a little sister who I always make sure and I tell her what to wear from starting point,
And like most success stories, the journey to the top is not easy.
Actually, it was quite a journey. I tried to enter a couple of competitions before, which is the fast track that AFI has, probably like 4 times, and never happened. And then only 5 years later, I got in, which was in 2016, where I showcased my spring-summer collection. And on Monday or Tuesday, Bonang wore it for a glam cover magazine, and then the rest was history.
Orapoleng is truly a star in the making. Orapoleng Modutle started showcasing with us a few years ago, and I've literally watched him grow and improve on his designs over the years. He's just one of those young people that are very creative, works very hard, understands the female form, understands how to work with the fabric, and brings out the best in all his designs. It's really exciting to work with them.
His 20-piece spring-summer collection entitled Listening to My Inner Melody is a monochrome marvel.
It's really a narrative that I wrote about my career from the beginning, where everything started with black and white, while doing that, listening to my inner melody. And that's why we have a little bit of musical notes, and then we tapped into the whole black and white theme. This collection is my movement from bridal to more high-end, really catering to my woman and all her activities that she has. Where is she going on holiday? Is she going into a bathroom? Is she attending a gala dinner? Is she hosting a party? Is she getting married? Just an all-rounder where we're just not really trying to box our clients into one corner, where we're just trying to dress her in all the occasions that she has.
bar set quite high for Rapeleng outdone himself, and I think why I like his collection the most because he used my favorite colors, monochrome, black and white.
Shout out to Orapeleng Muduke. That's like literally very international. I was just telling a friend of mine just next to me, I was like, you know what? This is Africa beyond what people think abroad. This is Africa beyond what people think abroad. This is Africa personified, this is Africa modified, and this is Africa right now.
Now guys, this is our mini bushveld breakaway at Shishangeni by Bon Hotels, and if you'd like to see more pictures, why don't you follow us on Instagram and on Twitter on Trendz and SABC using the hashtag SABC News. Right now though, I'm going to spend some time in the sun.
The Great Bank Heist. It was brazen. It was quick.
One thought we're perhaps looking at figures much, much lower. Right. It's almost 2 billion.
It was shared amongst very greedy VBS executives and politically connected individuals. You are listed in that report. Did you steal money?
The narrative that they're trying to create is proven wrong by Advocate Mutao's report himself. He said in point 59 that he could not find a definitive wrongdoing, anything factually.
The misleading information which Daily Maverick has is deliberate. It's part of the whole propaganda machinery. You can challenge this fully Van Veek to bring us the so-called evidence that I received 10 million. It's pure insanity.
Is there any prospect whatsoever of saving VBS?
We are not as confident as we were when we started the curatorship as to restoring the bank.
The bank is in a hopeless situation and it cannot be saved.
And welcome to the Full View here on SABC News. It's great to have you with us.
You're not answering what I'm asking.
I'm saying to you, none of the commitments were ever met.
No, that's not true.
None of them were ever met.
That is not true.
The Monama Trust was not an act of the national government.
Is somebody suggesting that the one who happens to have a white skin should be subject to expropriation without compensation?
But again, I put it to you that that has not been conclusively decided. That's what this whole process, which you are a part of, in making your submissions, will decide. We don't know what the final beast will look like. And until we do, all you're doing is fear-mongering.
No.
Welcome back to Trendz Travel. Today we find ourselves in the Kruger National Park at the Shishangeni concession. But there's so much more of Trendz coming up, so why don't you stay tuned for more of that.
Movie lovers who attended this year's Sous Chef Festival, held in Randburg, north of Johannesburg, were treated to a Parisian-style movie night, where they enjoyed a 5-meal course watching Le Chef, a film directed by Daniel Cohen. Curated by 4 prestigious chefs from Morocco, Sweden, France and South Africa, the chefs will tour Lesotho and South Africa. The Sous Chef program offers foodies from all ages with the chance to explore mouth-watering and finger-licking culinary experiences.
Tonight it's happening Movie Eat Along, and it's a very exquisite program that we have with the Sous Chef program. So Sous Chef program exists since 5 years. It's a cooperation between France and South Africa. So the French Embassy, the French Institute in South Africa, IFAS, and also Alliance Française. We are all cooperating with our partners in gastronomy. And tonight it's HTA, the school, the chef school. For the first time we're collaborating with them. We are bringing a French chef and we are going to taste all the things that are going to be displayed on the screen.
And we caught up with Chef Scott Phillip, the man behind these mouth-watering dishes.
So for tonight, it's a movie eats along, so most of the guests are going to watch a movie, and in between we're going to be serving some of the food that's been shown in the movie. So we're going to be starting off with some cheese and a nice sweet bread, so a nice aniseed, like more spolici kind of vibe. And then we go on to a leek soup. Then after that, we go into another chicken navrin, and then onto that, another beef explosion, which was described as a gastronomy thing in the movie, and then onto some sweet stuff like marshmallows, honeycomb, something like simple but nice and tasty.
And the verdict from those who attended the festival.
The movie was delightful because they had two eras in the movie in culinary change. So they had the older traditional meaty beef le boeuf stew, right? And then they had the new cold laboratory molecular fourth industrial revolution kind of stuff. So it was interesting to see those two kinds of cuisines and cultures counterposed to each other.
But it seemed like a really, really nice movie. The storyline was nice.
Yeah, I think that's what you don't expect. When you hear a French movie, especially not being able to speak French, you expect like, oh, you know, I'm not really going to enjoy it. But actually it was surprisingly enjoyable. I'd actually like to watch it again when I can actually, like she said, like, you know, read all of the subtitles and, yeah.
The food was delightful. The first course was really delicious. I think it was some kind of mushroom soup. And then the second course was that, I think there was a chicken, but also delicious sauce with it. The third was a little normal, you know, meatball, but an interesting orange sauce. I don't know if it put orange in it. And then delicious chocolate over the bread cake at the end, and quite a chewy meringue that the friend next to me sort of popped. and some delicious crisp honeycomb. So well done to the students and to HTA.
It was such a great concept, actually, the idea of watching food on screen and then actually eating the food. I really liked the first course. There was a soup, and then the dessert was really interesting. It was just a brioche with kind of honeycomb and a meringue, and yeah, it was really tasty stuff.
Yeah, it's like Jonathan said, it's really, because if you ever do watch a movie that's kind of focused on food, you're always like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be eating that. So it's a really like cool concept. My favorite course was also the soup, yeah, and the honeycomb and the desserts. But it was quite cool also, like with the meatball. Trying to figure out what the stuff was.
Tomato and
cucumber foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Le Chef is a film about a veteran chef who faces off with his restaurant's new CEO, who wants the restaurant to lose a star so that he can bring in a new chef.
Testing 1, 2, 3. We're on.
We're here to investigate a patient that killed 3 innocent teenagers on a Halloween in 1978. He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity. Hello, Michael. I have something you might like to see.
Our approach required ethically John's signature. John to say, thumbs up, let's go, I'm going to be a part of this. If we were going to be as authentic and honorable to his 1978 movie as we were saying we were, we had to have his blessing.
Jamie has a talent, and the camera loves to shoot her, and she just puts it out there, and she's just great. Perfect for the movie I made, and now all these years later she's perfect for David Gordon Green's movie.
Everyone in my family like turns into a nutcase this time of year. Yeah, I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
I knew I was going to say yes on page like 4. Right away I understood how they had jumped a generation.
Made up.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
I think that they are really similar. They have a lot of similarities. I think that that was one of the beautiful things that David and Danny and Fradley did with Allison, is they made her very much an homage to Laurie.
It had to kind of be inspired and kind of give a nod to the first movie, but not copy it, and also not veer away from it so far that the movie wouldn't feel like a Halloween movie.
I'm real excited for audiences to see this movie. It is going to scare you. I guarantee it.
He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him. Get out! Go home! Get inside! You don't believe in the boogeyman? He's here! Michael! You should.
Can you close the closet door?
And that's all we have here in this week's edition of Trendz Travel. We love hearing from you, so why don't you hit us up on Twitter and on Instagram, on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News. We'd love to see you again next week, same time, same place.